afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. Experts found 23 holes in the sunken MT Princess Empress, which caused the massive oil spill in Oriental Mindoro. Mon Gualvez reports.
Dark and thick oil continued to seep upward from some of the valves of the sunken MT Princess Empress in the waters of Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro. In this video, taken by the remotely operated vehicle or ROV from Japan, some parts of the ship also had marks left behind by the oil. All in all, the ROV saw 23 points or areas in the ship that had a leak. It's been 3 weeks since the tanker sank. Now, the front of the ship has been severely damaged and cracked due to the intense water pressure.
Habang bumababa, remember, nung gumaganyan siya, malakas ang pressure brake. Merong loose ang thread. Dahil din sa pressure, meron din namang, siyempre, ano yung tawag doon? Sa pagbaba ng mga tubo, ang tubo kasi pag umiibo, metal yan, pwedeng mag-break.
The tanker was found at the depth of 390 to 395 meters or around 1,300 feet under the sea. Till now, the ROV findings prove inconclusive as to how much oil is seeping out and is yet to find its way out of the sunken MT Princess Empress. But one thing is for sure, no more leaks have been found in the fuel service tanks. This had held the petroleum that was used for the consumption of the ship. Meantime, all 8 cargo tanks in the vessel were found to be leaking, even the ballast tanks, which provided balance to the ship. Fortunately, according to the provincial government, the ship was upright when it sank.
Walang corals. Ang nasa sa ilalim lang ay puro buhangin. May ilang presence of fish, may starfish, at ang marami daw po ay shrimp.
At this point, authorities recommend 4 measures. First is bagging, the fastest means to plug the leaks. Specialized bags that repel air and water would be used to coat each hole so oil could be collected. While this is being done, they can proceed with patching or sealing the leaks with metal parts and acetylene. Next is hot tapping, where the ROV will be connected with specialized parts that envelope and patch heat to the ship in order to thin the oil. In this manner, pumping out the oil would be better and easily done. Authorities deem this necessary because the oil tanker can no longer be raised.
Hindi dapat sapagkat pag angat ng barko, because of the pressure, the vessel might ang tawag nito, it's a disaster. It might break. Pwede siyang mabiyak. So kung mabibiyak siya at may laman ang 8 tangke, it will be a disaster to all.
Despite the developments in the oil spill response, authorities remind towns and provinces near Oriental Mindoro not to be complacent.
The oil is already at sea. Nasa dagat na siya eh. Yung nakikita natin sa Nabotas, yung nakikita natin sa Batangas, ito yung oil na nakamix na sa sea. Hindi na ito fresh oil eh. Hindi na ako naniniwala ng fresh oil to eh. Ito na yung nadala na ng hangin, nagmix na siya. Kaya pag tumabi yung oil na to, maninipis na line na lang siya.
At the moment, shoreline surveys and cleanup continue. In fact, experts recommend longer work hours to hasten cleanup. They also eye social engineering or line of messaging to lessen fear and hopelessness among residents amid the tragedy. This also aims to encourage them to cooperate in resolving the oil spill. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
The House of Representatives has suspended Negros Oriental Congressman Arnie Tevis for 60 days. In a unanimous vote, 292 lawmakers agreed with the recommendation of the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges to suspend Tevis. This is due to the expiration of the congressman's travel clearance, his continued absence despite orders to return to the country, and, quote, disorderly behavior that tarnished the lower chamber's integrity. President Bongbong Marcos himself has advised Tevis to come home, which the lawmaker says he might just do soon. For his part, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla has had enough of Tevis's excuses.
The only advice I can give to Kong Arnie is that habang tumatagal ito, mas nagiging mahirap ang sitwasyon mo. So, mas maaga kang makauwi, mas marami pang option ang mangyayari. Pero pagka masyado ng late, wala na, mapipilitan ng gobyerno. We will have to move without any discussions with him.
Kung kayo na ang humiling na umuwi ako, mas mahihirapan ako humindi dahil mas may authority kayo makabigay ng proteksyon sa akin.
There's a lot of drama, no? Umuwi na lang siya kung meron siyang pag-aalilangan. He should just go home. Tama na yung arte. Masyado siya maarte.
And after the 60-day suspension, Congressman Arnie Tevis might next face expulsion. The House Committee on Ethics and Privileges member Raul Angelo Bungalon said that the camp of Slay Negros Oriental Governor Roel Digamo is planning to file a complaint against Tevis with a prayer for expulsion. Congressman Bugalon also said that the sole basis for Tevis' suspension is his continuous defiance of showing up and performing his duties as a lawmaker.
Right now, wala pa naman po tayong natatanggap sa Committee on Ethics na official complaint, no, or verified complaint from the camp of the Digamos. So we'll see, no, we'll cross the bridge when we get there po after the expiration of the 60-day period.
We're gonna pause for a short break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. President Bongbong Marcos confirmed that the 4 new sites for the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, have been identified. Julie Baiza with the details.
President Marcos graced the 126th founding anniversary of the Philippine Army in Taguig City. In his speech, Marcos said there is a need to recalibrate the government's approach in dealing with communist insurgency. The president urged soldiers of the government to be catalysts to the surrender and disarmament of communist rebels, noting a decline in their number.
Addressing the root causes of insurgency will entail a whole-of-nation approach. Take on the task of peacemakers. Work with national government agencies, civil society groups, the private sector, and the communities themselves in keeping the peace.
Marcos also told the Army to continue strengthening its relationship with its foreign counterparts.
Common security challenges necessitate a more concerted approach among like-minded nations. Share information, learn from the best practices in the region to make our military better.
In a media interview after attending the ceremony, President Bongbong Marcos said the new sites for the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement will be located in separate parts of the country, some being near Palawan, while others will be located up north.
So there are 4 extra sites scattered around the Philippines. There are some in the north, there are some around Palawan, there are some further south. So iba-iba talaga. It's really to defend our eastern coast.
The Defense Department had said earlier that among the planned locations for the new EDCA sites are Cagayan, Isabela, Palawan, and Zambales, areas that noticeably face the West Philippine Sea and Taiwan. Some local governments have earlier opposed the plan as they fear of getting caught in the middle of conflict between US and China over Taiwan.
Yung nandito na sila, mag-i-stack, dito sila makikipagyera, dito sila, ay mas lalong patay na po kami doon. No, sabi ko nga, ang wishlist ng mga kwan dito, bankers, ano ibig sabihin? No, you're not prepared for that type of war.
But Marcos says the administration has smoothened things out with his LGUs.
Mukha namang naintindihan nila because most of the those who had interposed some objections are really right now naintindihan naman nila, and they have come around to support the idea of an EDCA site in their province.
Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas raised the interest rate to 6.25% as inflation continues to come in hot. The policy rate increase of 25 basis points follows the 50 basis point hike back in February. Higher rates will result in more expensive borrowings from banks and lending companies. The Office of the Ombudsman suspended 33 government officials over the allegedly irregular procurement of pandemic supplies. These include officials from the Budget Department's Procurement Service and the Health Department. The suspension order stemmed from complaints filed by Senator Risa Ontiveros and former Senator Richard Gordon. And today marks the start of the Holy Islam month of Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, which is a time to reflect through praying, fasting, and studying the Quran. The Muslim holy month ends with the Eid al-Fitr holiday on April 20 or 21. And a couple of foreign stars will be visiting the Philippines soon. Hollywood actress Vanessa Hudgens is flying to the Philippines for the first time to film a travel documentary. This documentary will feature the actress exploring her Filipino roots. Filming is set to start later this month in Manila and Palawan and will revolve around her relationships with her sister Stella and mother Gina, who left the Philippines for the U.S. at 25 years old. Presidential Creative Communications Advisor Paul Soriano is set to stand as director, producer, and executive producer of the documentary. Canadian-American singer-songwriter Alanis Morissette will be performing a special one-night concert in August to celebrate the 28th anniversary of her most recognized album, Jagged Little Pill. The anniversary concert was supposed to take place on April of 2020, but has since been moved numerous times, with the date finally set for August 1 this year. The show will be held at the Mall of Asia Arena. One News Now will be back with the latest stories at 6:30 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.